So it's been a little while since we recorded the last podcast down in Brighton Beach. This time we thought we'd take things up a notch and film it right from Maverick HQ, but we're going to do it a little bit different and film it with the entire team. Welcome to the Maverick Games podcast. Hello and welcome to the Maverick Games podcast from the studio. My name's Fraser Strachan, audio director at Maverick Games, and today joining me is...
I'm Gareth Harwood, I'm the content director at Maverick Games.
And I'm Matt Craven, I'm the CTO at Maverick.
I'm Tom Butcher, I'm the EP at Maverick Games.
And so we decided to get you two onto the podcast because you two have been on a pretty exciting trip to New Orleans recently for Unreal Fest. Tell us about it. How was it?
Yeah, it was great. We were over there obviously for Unreal Fest 2023. It was amazing. New Orleans was amazing.
Was it your first time?
First time to New Orleans. We had to do a lot of research into where to get the best gumbo from, which we did. But yeah, we were mainly over there for the conference, and it was a great experience.
Was there any reason for it being in New Orleans, or was it just a cool place to have the conference?
I think cool place to have the conference, but I think also it's kind of in the middle, as middle as you can get for Europe and the US. So kind of there. And the weather was nice this time of year as well, which is good.
Great. What did you think your purpose of going to the Unreal Fest was going to be? What did you hope to get from it?
I think for me it was seeing all of the great content that was presented there, but also the opportunity to meet with some of the folks from Epic and some other connections that I was able to make there as well. So a bit of networking as well as that, and obviously the gumbo, as Gareth mentioned.
And did you learn anything that you didn't know?
Yeah, some of the talks were amazing actually, and I think because Unreal is moving so fast at the moment with the 5.3 updates with Lumen and with PCG, all of that is relatively fresh. So even the stuff that's online has only been out, a couple of weeks. So to hear it kind of firsthand from the talks that were over there, especially as some of the developers who created it, that was amazing. And it made me so excited to come back and try some of the stuff as well. So yeah, that was probably the thing for me that I was most excited about. All of the new tech and bringing it back and trying it here.
Cool. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I think learning a lot about the development workflow, how to get the best out of Unreal, that kind of thing. I think, and as Gareth says, kind of hearing it firsthand from the people that make it. I think that was great, and we've brought a lot back with us.
That's the thing, you open up Unreal and there's a million ways to do everything. You kind of go, I think this is the right way, but it's probably nice to get confirmation. Oh yeah, that's how the people that made it said it's supposed to be done.
Oh yeah, we were in one of the talks and Gareth was made a big list. So much we've done wrong. So
here's all the things we've done wrong. But I think that's the other thing with Unreal, because it is so big, because it is used by so many people, there are a million ways to do stuff. But actually, there were some really good talks that showed you examples of how games that have been developed already, and the first one has already been released in Unreal 5, how they went about doing it, and then also all of the demos. But they actually were kind enough to kind of show all of the settings and choices and parameters and why they chose them, not just here are all the options. It was, we chose this option because of these reasons. I don't think you get that much normally in that way. So hearing all of that was really good.
Yeah, I had it the other day where I was working on a blueprint, and I showed it to someone, showed it to an engineer and said, does this work? And they said, it's our way of doing it. It's not the way I would have done it, and it's probably not the way of doing it, but it's our way and it works.
It's a roundabout way of saying it.
And I went, I'm a content creator, my work here is done.
I think it's interesting hearing that those conversations differ from the people that are making the engine, Epic, and also people that are using it, because, again, multiple ways of doing things, and that positive affirmation that, yes, it's okay that we're doing things in this way, despite your list, Gareth. Yeah. It's still, still learning, right? It's still a learning experience.
So what do you think using Unreal means for us at Maverick? What does it give us?
I think it gives us a great head start. We can really get going with what we want to get done. It empowers the content teams with a great set of tools right from day one. What we've built so far so quickly, I think, is testament to that. It's so much more versatile than us trying to build an engine from scratch and spend 5 years on that and still end up with something where the tools aren't as good as what you get in Unreal. So I think it's the head start it gives us and the features we can choose from to use with it.
I think from content creator point of view, at Maverick, we do want to be creative, we want to be innovative, and having a tool set that just works out of the box allows you to go do that. It allows you to try things really quickly, and they don't always work, and it's fine. It's fine for us to learn what things to do and also what things not to do, but it allows you to fail fast, try something and then move on. It is also really visual, so that everything you try, there's normally a visual feedback straight away. You can see, something in the game straight away, and you can work out if it's working. You can even see if the frame rate drops straight away. It's constant kind of visual feedback for anything that you do. The other thing it allows you to do is it allows you to talk to other content creators that have been in similar situations to you. Whereas if you're using a proprietary engine, like nobody's been in that similar situation unless they've used your proprietary engine, which is very rare. So being able to have open conversations like we did at Unreal Fest about some of the difficulties that we're going to face in the future, and also some of the solutions that we've already found and other people have found, and being able to throw those back and forth. Having Unreal do that is amazing. I think also seeing the roadmap for what's coming in the future of Unreal, it's just inspiring to make you want to, carry on, and you want all of those new features to come straight away, but we're still getting up to grips with what came out in 5.3, so I don't want them too quick because it's going to take us a little bit of time to get up to speed on those. But yeah, just seeing that roadmap of what's coming makes you really excited.
Yeah, there's some great stuff on the way.
Great. So go on then. You mentioned some of the jazz and the gumbo, but what was the percentage split between learning and partying?
I think it was about 50-50, to be honest.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
good.
Due to the flights, we got there a couple of days early, which meant that we could go and explore New Orleans. We explored the French Quarter loads. The French Quarter is amazing. There's quite a lot of cafes, restaurants, street jazz going on. There's a space in the middle where artists come and they show their paintings, show everything they've done. There's a huge kind of voodoo ghost kind of culture there as well. So there's ghost tours going on and like people dressed up just walking around the streets.
There's also a hardware shop, which if you break your glasses, as Gareth did, is quite handy as well.
I did break my glasses while over there, so I needed to go fix those.
We did look a little bit dodgy with a tube of super glue in a park, but it was for his glasses.
Yeah.
You didn't go for the tape around
I didn't go for the tape, no.
I tried. I said, just get some tape. He said, I'm not putting tape on my glasses.
You can take the man out of Manchester.
But the other thing that was really good was the cafes there were really good. So
you were telling me about some sticky...
Yeah.
I'm going to let you lead on from that.
I'm
not the super glue. Not the glue.
Yeah. I'm going to try and pronounce it, and they were called beignets. And they are French donuts, but they're kind of square donuts, but with nothing in. But they are coated with icing sugar, and they're pretty good, like, must admit. But there was a shop called Café de Beignet, and there were 4 of those in the French quarters of those. Plus there was another one called Café du Mont, which apparently is one of the most famous cafes for this kind of stuff anywhere. But they come and they are so covered in ice and sugar that quite a lot of the shops had warnings on them saying that you weren't allowed to take these into shops because they didn't want the sugar and stickiness going anywhere. So we had to stay in the cafe and eat all of those before we...
Yeah, you were covered in sugar.
I'm just
Especially-
imagining like
Well, we sat outside when we ate ours, and it was a little bit breezy, I would have said. So we were kind of getting like just sugar blown at us off these things. There's so much on
I'm
it.
just imagining like everything at Unreal Fest being a bit sticky because they didn't have up signs saying don't bring any
Everyone having
menus.
powder all over.
Yeah. You got bit.
It was
Well,
well,
it was a bit
yeah,
like that.
props to nailing the accents on those French words
yeah,
there. So.
impressive.
Well, one of the benefits of filming in the studio is that we have access to lots of other Mavericks, so we'll be back in just a minute to meet them. So I can't believe it's been about 10 months since I did the original video, which we posted online, which showed us moving into this office, unpacking boxes. There was nobody here. And now I thought I'd do a bit of an update tour around the office for you. It's a bit unusual really to do videos internally, which kind of show off some, I guess people worried about showing off some top secret stuff. But in the spirit of transparency, we kind of wanted to take you along for the ride. So, we're really proud of how far Maverick has come in the last 10 months. And we thought, we'll show you around the office. So we've got some really nice meeting spaces. This is our boardroom currently at the minute. And there's plenty of room for activities. This is probably the bit where I cut to the section where we were having races on our chairs the other day. Meeting rooms through there. Hello, Susie. Hi, Anya.
Hi.
More from Anya later on the podcast. And we've got a couple of rooms down here. Flu vaccinations going on today. This is where we're setting up to film the podcast today. It's exciting. Normally have our lunch here. Last time I was here, we were only just setting up the printers, but now they're all set up. We've got H and the gang in the kitchen making the teas and coffees. Eating crisps. H loves crisps. Got a new fridge delivered the other day as well.
Oh.
Hi, Ben. Just walked straight past. A little room in there. Oh, spoilers. Yeah, lots of stuff going on around the office. Hopefully we just keep showing you more stuff from inside Maverick Games. But back to the podcast. All right, so we're back on the couch with a couple more Mavericks. Who are you? What do you do? When did you join Maverick?
So I'm Brad. I joined Maverick in July, and I'm a senior gameplay programmer.
Yep. And I'm Anya. I joined in April, and I'm an associate producer.
Nice, welcome. So where have the two of you come from? What have you worked on previously? It's always kind of interesting to see what kind of experience you're bringing to Maverick.
So I worked at Deep Silver Dambuster Studios in Nottingham on Dead Island 2.
Oh, cool.
Worked there for a little over 5 years. Saw it from pre-production through to getting out the door.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've come from Ubisoft. So I was a self-help content management specialist, so a bit of a mouthful, but essentially doing a lot of content writing and project management about various Ubisoft games.
And you are our resident go-to dictionary.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, I'll take that. I will say I'm happy with that title. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to sound like a massive nerd, but I do love a bit of grammar, so, if you need grammar advice, just hit me up.
Yeah, if you need anything proofread at all, send it to Anya.
Yeah, our Confluence rulebook is ever growing.
No typos on my watch.
So you mentioned Dead Island. How was that working on Dead Island?
Yeah, it was exciting. I hadn't really played much Dead Island before starting on the project, and then had to sort of really get stuck in. And it was quite exciting because obviously everyone had heard Dead Island was in development, but after that it was silent for years and years until about 12 months before release. So there's a lot of secrecy and not being able to talk to people about it, but made it quite exciting.
Nice.
A few different studios worked on that initially, right?
Yes, yeah. We were the third official, I think, after Jaeger and Sumo.
Were there bit of environmental storytelling when you got into the code base, little notes left behind? And
I was expecting it, but no, we actually started from scratch entirely.
Okay.
So we saw a little bit of the Sumo build in its early development as a sort of here's what the previous people have done, take it as inspiration, but we started from scratch.
Cool.
So new engine, new project. Yeah.
Great.
Cool. So what would you two say has been the best moment that you've had so far at Maverick Games?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, it's a difficult one because there's been so many. I feel like every week something really great happens, which is obviously great. I think one of my ultimate favorites was the moment we dubbed Tiny Jed. So for a bit of context for people who have no idea what I'm talking about.
You forced us to show that photo.
I will. I'm sorry, Jed, if you're watching this. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But yeah, essentially, to take a long story short, we had a Teams call because we are a hybrid studio, so often have calls over Teams. And someone put in the together mode, where basically it looks like everyone sat in a classroom together. And for some ungodly reason, Teams decided that Jed it decided to make him really tiny. So it sort of looked like he was sat behind one of the chairs, just really angrily peeking at the rest of us, but all laughing. It is beautiful. If we show it, I think people will appreciate the beauty of that. So Tiny Jed is absolutely one of my top moments at Maverick.
Sure would have liked to know who put it in together mode.
It's never production. We are the kings of chaos here.
Great, that is a good one. One I'd forgotten about, but thank you for reminding me. What about you, Brad?
That is a tough one to follow. So I was thinking, I was like, there's been loads of good moments in production, like working with different people, but I was like, I think my highlight is meeting Billy Bingo for the first time.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he just swooped in with his cape, gave an hour of bingo and then disappeared into the night. And it was...
Which is, we will be getting onto Billy Bingo in just
Spoilers.
a minute, but yeah. We have one more question before we get onto that. So we can't let you leave the couch without asking, what are you both playing at the minute?
So I'm playing Assassin's Creed Unity, interestingly, even though that's 5 games old. But I'm playing it because I quite like Napoleonic's French Revolution, and the film Napoleon comes out in a month, and I'm trying to get myself hyped for that. Been watching a lot of like Sharp, Hornblower, like really getting into the mood, ready to watch it day one.
Very specific niche of
Very
interest.
specific niche. Very specific niche.
How do you feel about Joaquin Phoenix playing Napoleon?
It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. It's going to be hard not to see him as the Emperor from Gladiator.
Or the Joker?
Or the
That's
Joker.
fair.
Yes, or the Joker, but... Yeah, I don't know.
You've
I
sat
think
there
it's
judging the film.
I've watched the trailers like a good dozen times. I'm already the history side of me is like, Napoleon never led a cavalry charge, or he didn't do that. So I'm like, now I'm worried. I'm like, am I going to enjoy this film?
I'm listening to this going, yes, of course.
Yeah.
What show are you going to? Because I don't want to be there. Because I'll just hear like loud
Savage.
at the back. Just,
No, I'm very, very excited for it. The first showing. Coincidentally, my partner and I are in Amsterdam until the day before it comes out, and we booked the day off after to make sure we had time.
Are you coming back in a boat?
Not coming back in a boat. Flying over. But so we're actually booked. We've coincidentally booked off the day it comes out. So the first showing.
So why Napoleonic history?
Just always had a big fascination with it. When I was a child, I watched a lot of Sharp and Hornblower with my granddad, and sort of grew up with that, and just always found it really fascinating, and like the tactical nature of it. Sort of like if you go to watch Napoleon, you'll see at the end when they get to the Waterloo battles, the sort of like the formation of having to like change from square into column into line at a moment's notice. And I just find that really fascinating. And the guns feel amazing. If you've ever fired a musket, there's nothing like firing a musket.
Who hasn't?
This is the first time we've asked someone what game they've been playing, and it's quickly gone into a discussion about history. How does it translate into Assassin's Creed Unity? Have they done it justice? Or
It's okay. It's okay.
And we'll move on.
No, I've been enjoying it. It's focused more on the French Revolution, to be fair. Like you meet Napoleon in it, and that was really cool. And you get to watch him like blow a wall open with a cannon, which was really cool. But yeah, it takes place in the late 1790s, so you don't actually get into the Napoleonics, or maybe you do. I'm only on like I think sequence 12. So if it does happen, nobody spoil it for me.
I have a question. Are you going to go in costume?
Ooh, that's a question. Maybe. If I have time to get a costume in time.
Stay tuned for that.
Get the telescope out.
I would like one of the big hats, like the Commodore hats, like the massive ones. But then no one behind me will be able to see.
That's very true. As a short person, I request you don't do this.
Yeah.
Please.
And so what about yourself, Anya?
So I've been playing a little indie title called Coral Island. It's essentially Stardew Valley on a tropical island in 3D, and I'm absolutely addicted to it. It is so lovely. So it's in early access at the minute, and it comes out on the 14th of November, if I remember right. I've just I started playing it through Game Pass, and it's just so fun. You get to do your farming, you can adopt a dog, you get to clear the ocean. It's great. It's fantastic. So yeah.
Does it have like an environmental
Yeah,
message?
so basically you get a little town and your town gets a really shitty rating from some woman who just turns up and she's like, your town is shit. So then your job is to improve the town. If any of the developers are going to watch this, going to be like, that's not what the game is. But anyway, let's just go with it. Yeah, you have to, improve your farm and all that, but then you have to improve the town by sort of cleaning up the ocean and getting rid of loads of rubbish in there. You sort of discover new areas and your ranking goes up and then everyone's really happy and yes, it's great.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us on the couch. I did kind of tee up the Billy Bingo stuff. Thank you for leading on to that.
It was planned,
nicely.
all scripted.
For the folks at home, you might not be aware of Billy Bingo, but we run a little bingo night internally here at Maverick Games, and we thought we'd like to introduce you to him.
Welcome, Bingo!
Game on, it's time to bingo. Okay, 2 and 6, 26. 6 and 0, 60. 6 and 9, 69. Nice. All the 7s, 77. Legs 11. 3 and 7, 37. And that's Maverick Bingo. Welcome back. We're joined by another 2 Mavericks. Do we have a name for multiple Mavericks?
Maverai?
Maverati?
Mavericky?
I mean, Mavericks is
That's
a
got-
plural, so...
It's got bad connotations.
We are joined by another pair of Mavericks. Why don't you 2 introduce yourselves?
So I'm Anya. I work in game design, senior game designer. I joined like 2 months ago, I think. But it already feels like an eternity because everyone here is pretty new, so...
Yeah,
I'm glad that went that way.
I thought you were about to say something else.
I have no idea what you all guys were thinking, to be honest.
That's so boring. Like, it sounds like it's forever. Yeah. So I'm Lucas, senior gameplay designer, and I joined in July this year. So yeah, 3 months.
Has it also gone really slowly or fast?
It's been okay. Like the people like sometimes like they give trash, but it's fine. I can handle it. I can handle it.
Wow, we're really tanking.
Yeah. And what did you previously work on? Great to hear some of your previous experiences, what you're bringing to Maverick. Anya, why didn't you?
Well, I worked on Forza Horizon. That was kind of my first job.
Good game.
Great game,
yeah.
amazing. Do
Never played
recommend.
The production was
Yeah, production was amazing. Game design there as well was top
Also
notch.
great.
Yeah. And
Audio.
Yeah. Sorry, Fraser.
Right here.
Audio was okay. It was all right. Yeah.
I like that was the upgrade.
Yeah, and then I left for a year, I think. I went to Splash Damage, worked on Project Astrid, which I guess no one still knows what it is, but it was pretty interesting as well. So kind of like bringing that experience to Maverick as well.
Cool. Great. Thanks, Anya. And Lucas?
So I worked on Dirt 5. I was a Codemaster Cheshire then. And I left to Shark Mob, actually. Spent a year there. Get to meet Ben Penrose as well, our art director.
Would you say that was the highlight?
I mean, I joined, so I can't say anything bad, about
Still haven't passed your probation.
I mean, technically,
He did not join. He's not that bad.
So yeah, no, it's been a really, really good three months now.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say 3 years, but yeah, it's yeah. In Anya's,
what is
conception
time?
of time.
Exactly.
What is time?
Yeah. But yeah, no, really, really happy so far. Yeah.
Cool. Great. And in those 2 to 3 months, what's been your favourite Maverick memory?
I mean, a lot of them look pretty great, to be honest. But I think like having the team like on Tuesdays, we usually go out or like play D&D a few times. Like I think it's a really nice thing to see, like literally like everyone kind of bonding experience, especially when the team is so new. I think it's very important. So yeah, this kind of like culture, I think, is one of my favorite parts.
It's cool knowing that everyone's going to be in on a Tuesday, because then it makes it so much easier to organize things like we're doing go-karting soon and like bingo and all that kind of stuff. But it's so much easier when everyone's in, and like so nice just to see like people playing board games at, you know, as you're heading out the door, or participating even.
Yeah, no, exactly. Especially like for me, like I come from London, so like knowing that everyone's gonna be in on Tuesday and there's gonna be an event like allows me to plan things, and I can like, even though I'm mostly working remotely, I still can feel like part of the company, like in a big time.
That is a really nice Maverick memory. Lucas, high bar. What have you got for us?
There's too many. No, but really, literally, like, cause like I think like all of the interactions I've had like in the office are just like, you know, like really, really good and positive, and like be it the outings that we've been on, or just like in the office, like the banter between each other, it's always like, you know, good vibes, and for me, yeah, like that's, you know, that's how I operate, like even outside of work. So yeah, it just makes sense for me to be a Maverick.
Cool.
Very good. Very good. And how are you both finding the concept phase?
It's pretty exciting.
In part of the design team, this is like your green grass moment, right?
Yeah, no, I think like for me it's really cool. Like I've actually never went through a concept phase on a project. Like this is my first.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like a giant further like a little later, I guess. But yeah, it's been like really wild for my first like few weeks, I guess. I was like, what do you mean we don't cut anything? What do you mean you can do anything you want? But I think I got pretty used to it, and it's really cool. Like basically like everything is on the table. Like if you want to try something, you can just try it.
Yeah, it's complete blue sky thinking. Wow, you've never been a concept phase. That's exciting.
I'm
excited for you. That is very exciting.
You've been doing some pretty cool prototypes as well. Like Unreal seems to be really good for just jumping in and like building levels and coming up with different ideas. Have you found any blockers there, or have you found it like way more creative to jump in and use Unreal?
Yeah, I mean it's really easy, especially like coming from like a perpetual engine, like whatever the name of the engine that is like in-house kind of deal, like where it's a bit less support is available, whereas now it's like if I don't know something, I can just Google how to make a loop there and it's pretty easy. But no, like I think Unreal is amazing, especially like for someone who doesn't really code and stuff, like the blueprints, you can just really quickly do a prototype. Like I made one literally in a day, and we could just like identify all the problems we needed to solve literally in a day, which is kind of impressive, to be honest. And it's really nice to have this freedom as well, to just experiment.
Great.
What about you, Lucas?
I was about to say I'm pretty much in the same situation as Anya. Like for me, like, you know, being this much early in development, like it's new, and I really enjoy it, because that's also why I joined Maverick, because I really wanted to be, you know, both at the start of a company and of a project. And yeah, like being given like, you know, like this many responsibilities, some that I was like never expecting actually. It's been like really, really both refreshing, also like kind of like humbling in a way. But yeah, no, I've done some stuff that I'd never thought I'll do, like, you know, in years, and yeah, as such, yeah, I'm really, really grateful for the experience.
You're definitely enjoying using Unreal. I can tell.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like, cause I've had like a lot of fun working on the concept, and yeah, it's only like every week passes, and I'm like, oh wow, you can do that in Unreal. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. But yeah, so far so good. Yeah.
How do you think you're going to handle when pre-production comes around and you have to choose some of your ideas?
I wasn't going to ask that. I'm glad you went there.
I mean, it's a reality.
Well, let's cross that bridge when we come to that.
Okay.
That's such a designer answer. We will try to keep all of it.
Production is having a hard time right now. Like, he's fuming.
This is a mess. It's a mess. Let's hope it doesn't slip before the end. And finally, because we've been asking everyone, what have you both been playing at the minute? Anything exciting?
I'll let Lucas go first for the
So
first time.
I've just had a VR headset and a full like sim racing rig, so I'm quite heavily into Dirt Rally 2 at the minute and Assetto Corsa, and have a lot of fun. I really want to play Viewfinder though. At some point, I need to find some time in my schedule, but I really want to play Viewfinder.
I thought you were going to say Gran Turismo with the VR headset.
I don't have a PS5 yet, so maybe it will change soon. I don't know, but no. If I do, I'll definitely play some GT7. Yeah.
Cool.
I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3, 2, whatever the latest
Three.
one is.
Three.
Yeah. I haven't played any other.
What day is it?
I mean, it's a great
that sort of game.
Yeah,
It's that sort of
exactly. But yeah, we've been playing with friends, so like 4 people campaign.
I'd love to play that with.
Which is
Yeah.
It can be wild though, because like you have 4 people trying to do their own thing,
Sure,
and
yeah.
they keep not allowing me to kill every main character there. So but it's fun.
Yeah, those real like dark choices you make, you can't make them when other people are watching.
Exactly.
Marry.
Kill. Anyway,
How many hours are you into it now?
Not much, because like we're playing 4 people, so it's kind of hard to find time to do it all together. So I think it's like 8 hours so far, or 6 hours. So yeah.
So a tenth of the length of the game.
Like I think we're gonna finish in about 10 years at this pace.
look forward to that then. All right. Thanks for joining us on the sofa. We're going to be joined by Mike and 8 shortly. We're going to be talking some Maverick news, so don't go away.
All right, welcome back to the couch. We are joined by H and Mike. Welcome. It's been a little while since you've been on the podcast. What have you been up to?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while since there's been a podcast. Was the last one developed?
Yes.
Last one was developed, so that was filmed at developed. Since then, we've been to Gamescom and EGX. In fact, basically, that's all we do is just attend industry events.
It's not. Don't listen to him.
They're not actually here now. They're superimposed. It's like 2 holograms.
Coming to you live from.
Oh my God, we should so do that. That would be way better, wouldn't it?
Holograms from EGX.
No, not from EGX. Just thinking there.
Which one was your favourite?
Ooh.
Gamescom.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Gamescom has a lot going for it. It has a lot of challenging things about it, like extra 500,000 people in one city is pretty pretty intense.
It was busy, wasn't it? There was a lot of people around that show. It was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was super busy on just the industry days where there's no just regular gamers allowed in. The days with the regular gamers, it's like you just can't walk. It's just like it's a tide. You just move with the flow of the people, and you have to try and wade through them when you want to get off the little human train. It's pretty. It's gross as it sounds.
And did you take in the sights of Cologne itself? Did you ride the scooters, eat some pork knuckle?
Pork knuckle, yes. Scooter, no. Looked at the big church. It's a very impressive church.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do any of those, but did see the church.
Cathedral?
It'll be a cathedral, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, it's a cathedral. All right, thanks, Tom. Thanks for correcting us, Tom.
Yeah, it's I was looking on its Wikipedia page. It took over 500 years to construct. It's the number of generations that would have worked on that and just done their little bit, and then kind of just died, never seeing the end of it. It's pretty crazy.
AAA games.
It's
a joke.
Pretty impressive, though, isn't it?
No cuts. Only live.
No cuts.
We're live, Tom.
Yeah. They have an amazing sort of courtyard outside that cathedral where last time I was there, I was on the scooters, and I basically, when I got back, it cost me like 15 quid for the scooter journey, because afterwards you can see the journey you've taken on it, and I was just doing figure of eights just outside. I was like, oh no, someone's gonna know, busted.
It's very whimsical though.
Yeah.
We didn't use the scooters, did we? Because we were carrying a big PC. Anyone that saw us would know, so I thought I'd bring it up.
You could get that across multiple scooters.
We should have done that. It would have been easier.
These guys were doing a lot of walking. Every time it was like, should we walk back to the hotel? I was like, I'm just going to get an Uber. We'll get some fresh air. I'm like, nah.
Was that one night you got an Uber by yourself, and we're like, no, we're going to walk. You're like,
about 3 miles.
What's the matter with you?
Did nobody say, is Uber a thing here, even though it's Germany? Well, I think we'd be remiss to have this podcast without talking about kind of what's happening in the industry at the minute. Obviously, there's lots of turmoil going on. I think it's worthwhile talking about all the studios that have announced lots of layoffs.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty grim, isn't it? It seems like a quite a sad time in the industry, actually. So particularly in my own experience, actually, having previously worked at Sega and dealt a lot with the guys at CA, so my heart goes out to them. They are such a great studio. 30 years, I've never made any redundancies. I mean, that's quite something anyway, to be able to say that. But I know that they're doing the best that they can to make sure they look after people. But it's a tough old time.
It's not nice. I remember my first company I worked for, which was outside the games industry, but they went through a mass round of layoffs, and that moment where you're just wondering if you're going to get pulled into that office, it's just the worst.
It's so cold, right? Because the studio head or similar will have just been given got to lose 20%, and they've got a list of names that they just need to go down and just just strike off names, right? It's just so tough. Individually, everyone's a human with their own life story, and just imagine being the other human that has to look at that list and just be like, it's
and
pretty rough.
I've been in that position where you're having to make some decisions about people in your studio, and it's not an easy thing to do, because you do have a human connection with the people that are in your team, and you care about them because you build those relationships. So when you've got to make a decision about, like you say, you literally got to cut X% of your studio, and you've just got to do that.
It's not just the people that let go either, because there's that middle ground of people that kind of get reallocated to other areas of the business. Like that, it happened to me. Like I ended up doing a job that was completely different to what I actually had applied for back at the time, but it's rough. Like it's psychologically pretty hard time to go through. So
the studios are forever changed after that. It's just anyone that's left is, the person they sat next to may no longer be there.
And they feel guilty as well, right? You have that element of guilt, thinking, well, I'm still here, but my mates or most of my team have now departed. So at the start of my journey in the games industry, I can't remember if I've told you guys this, but I'd only been I was at the Sega Racing Studio, and I think I'd only been there 4 months where the decision had been made to shut the studio, which was, and that's my experience, my first experience in the games industry, and it was pretty tough. It was really, really tough to make that, to have to, even like you're saying about the fact that before the rest of the studio and how you manage that, and then people in the studio coming to talk to you about different things when you're kind of waiting for that point where you can actually tell the rest of the studio. And it's really hard. It's really, really hard. But I think there's not many people's CVs you see. I think, we've seen so many CVs since we've started in the last 10 months, and it's so rare now to see someone's CV where studio hasn't made mass redundancy, studio hasn't shut down, or a project hasn't been cancelled. So it's a real shame. But there is some really good learnings for everybody off the back of that as well, and it does make you a bit tougher, I think, as well.
And it is, and probably will always be the case, that if there's anything that Maverick Games can do to help, whether that's just getting in touch, having a chat, we know a lot of people, we can help put people in touch with folks. If there's anything we can do to help, please do get in touch with us. And I guess on that note, should we talk a little bit more about Maverick Games itself? What have we been up to since July? I guess it's been about 10 months now since we announced the studio, right? How many people are we up to now?
So what we 47? Are we 47
right,
now?
47.
Yeah. So we've grown a lot since it was the 8 of us back in January. Hey, so
I can tell Tom holding back a Hitman joke there. He's desperate. I was going to say.
Come on, Tom. Come on.
I was going to say you can count them, because we're here on a Tuesday, which is our collaboration day, and maybe you could pick it up from the microphones, but it's pretty buzzing in the studio. There's loads of people about. It's my favourite day of the week.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's great.
It's really. It's just the studio feels like teeming with life.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think the way that our working week we've put together, I think we've thought about it a lot. We talked about it so much before the team started anyway, didn't we? But that Tuesday where it's that mindful, it's all about collaboration. It's all about making sure the teams spend time together and having those meaningful conversations so that they can go off and then do the work that they need to when they're not face to face. It's brilliant. It's really good. And we do a lot of social events around it as well, don't we? So we've had some great moments with the team in the evenings, haven't we?
Yeah. Anya was talking about that, and you know, everyone.
I thought you were going to say tiny jet.
yeah.
Oh no!
Tiny. We'll fill you in.
Okay, cool. You could, actually, just off camera, you can see like a half-eaten cake, which is evidence of
tiny jet.
No, well,
yes, wondered what that was going to.
Is this like a mystical creature?
I was just going to say the cake is evidence of the revelries that have been happening around the studio because it's a collaboration day, and also it is evidence Tiny Jeb was here. So.
Do you know what's really interesting as well? Like just with that, I've been talking to lots of other studio heads as well, and just the fact that they struggle to get people in the studio, and I get that, and I think it's really hard where you've been a studio that's been completely in the office, kind of moved to working from home because everybody had to, and then that transition to get people back in the studio. I know people are struggling to get people into the studio, or what that definition of hybrid really means. I think we were really fortunate.
I mean, well, it caused a problem for every existing studio, right? Every single studio had that situation where everybody was forced to work from home because of COVID. I'm saying it because it sounded like we were trying not to say it. It's allowed to. It's not a swear. And then everybody came back in 2 groups. Everybody returned, and this happened to every single studio that you came back. And some people loved working at home, and some people hated working at home. And you've now got a studio of any number. It doesn't matter if it's 10 to 200. You've now got 2 groups. That group that wants to be in the studio, and that group that doesn't. And so the studio goes, let's go hybrid. And then you've got 2 groups that'll have different opinions on that. Either, okay, that kind of works, or no, I really hate this, I only want to work from home, or some combo of that. And it's really hard, it's unresolvable. You can't resolve that because you've got 2 groups that have got completely different feelings on the way they want to work. But we obviously started as a company after that, and everybody who joined the company knew the way that we worked. So anybody for whom it would be a problem doesn't work here, and everyone who does work here has kind of accepted it and isn't complaining about it and is happy with it.
And I think the thing that we did really well, which I think does make a difference, is we were really clear about it. Really clear, like we talked about the Tuesday. It's a non-negotiable. People come in on a Tuesday, and everyone's happy with it as well, because I think it gives structure to everyone's week. Because if it's that constant, I don't know which day do I go in. I could go in on a Monday, no one else is in. The people that I really want to go and speak to aren't in. But having that real structure around what that Tuesday is really helps.
Recycling.
Environmentally conscious.
Yes, as well.
Properly just brushing it before going in the bin.
Staring directly at the camera.
We did say, just like normal, don't worry about us. It's nice to see they are listening.
Well, anyway, so let's not talk about recycling, but those collaboration Tuesdays have been really good for the concept phase that we're currently in. I guess, Mike, do you want to give us an update on how that?
I mean, I guess earlier on you already showed the game, so everyone's already seen that.
Great, we can talk about it. Yeah,
fully revealed.
We didn't say the name. That's
good. Good.
Or names.
That's time for you.
So, how did it go? Did they like it?
Yeah, loved it.
Chat liked it.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
Cool.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we actually had to mute the chat because it was just exploding.
That makes sense.
Slow modes,
Yeah.
Concept phase is. It's honestly been the most energizing, exciting concept phase I've ever been a part of. I think we talk so much about bringing people in and being able to inspire them and excite them as they join the team. And the kind of theory behind that is that it would lead to a more energized and creative team. And the output of that would be better work, better games at the end of it. And so far it's proven to be completely true in a way that continues to blow me away, because the progress and some of the things, some of the prototypes and gameplay systems we're able to turn around in virtually no time is genuinely breathtaking. I mean, the game's sick. I think. Sorry to tease you guys on the whole having seen it already. By the way, that was really mean.
But I think since we did the last podcast, because that was back in July, all of us have had like summer holidays to go on, and every single time one of us has come back from a 1 week, 2 week holiday, we've gone, oh my God.
Do you know what? When I went on holiday, it was just before we went to Gamescom, and when I came back to see a whole new feature added to a massive feature added, I was like, I was going to say holy shit. Oh no, I said it.
Oh no, I nearly said fuck.
Beep.
Ollie recording a timestamp.
Yes. Sorry, Ollie. But yeah, it was pretty impressive how much, I'm so impressed with this team, how the right people that are working together and how much they've got done.
And that enthusiasm has manifested itself into a little award, which H, do you want to tell us about this?
Yeah. So, do you know what? This really means a lot to me. We picked up a GR.biz Best Place to Work for this year. There's over 100 companies go into this. It was a really competitive year, and only 25 companies actually pick up an award. It's, you know, a lot of that, 80% of that, of how that award's actually judged comes from the team. So the team fill in that questionnaire, and I've got some of that data back. It's really, it's great having a really happy team. I feel really proud of what we've done, and the fact that it's kind of working what we set out to do really early on. I couldn't be prouder. Yeah. Cool.
And so we've been doing quite a lot of stuff to make sure that Maverick is the best place to work. What kind of stuff have we been doing?
So what do you think? I've quite enjoyed our learning days. What do you guys think? They've been quite good fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Again, another thing which would be really difficult to implement when a studio is already kind of up and running and all the processes are in place. Yeah. It is a day in which the entire studio downs tools together and participates in some learning activities. If you were to try and retrofit that into an already operating organisation, your instant thing is going to be, well, how many man days have we? Dev days. Have we just lost? Clearly, can't say that. You can beat that out, yeah.
No, that'll somewhere.
It really will.
Your instant thing is to calculate how many dev days you've lost, because you're comparing it to the period before that happened. Yeah. Whereas by doing it from the very start, that just factors into your calculations of how long the thing is going to take, how many dev days you have to produce a piece of work, to produce an entire game, and it makes those decisions and those commitments like that much easier to pull off.
Yeah. What I really like about our learning days as well, I think also, is the fact that we're doing a lot of stuff as a team together. So the team's coming in to do those learning days.
Really fun.
Yeah. So we've done a couple. So we did that communication one really early on, which is all about how we speak to each other, how we can make sure we get the best out of each other. But the neurodiverse one, most people only do that with people in manager roles, production. But the fact that we did that with the entire studio, I thought everybody got something out of it. Feedback seems pretty good. Everyone enjoyed it.
It's interesting, the difference between the group learning and personal learning as well, because it has taken a bit of muscle memory to kind of get into the gear of that. It's hard to say, right, stop what you're doing and start learning something.
Yeah.
And actually,
stop being creative. Yeah, learn this book. Read this book.
What do you want me to learn?
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever you want to learn. So yeah, it's been fantastic, and we've got a few things coming up as well, right? We're doing go-karting soon.
We're going karting with the entire team. We've got loads of stuff over Christmas obviously planned, which is going to be really good fun. Obviously, we're doing a fancy dress Christmas party, which is going to be pretty cool.
And Halloween.
Oh, Halloween! Of course, I forgot. Yeah, Halloween next week.
May have happened by the time this is out.
No, that's about this week. Yeah, it's going out by Friday.
That's me told.
Better get on with it then, Fraser. Come on.
Yeah, and then we did a cinema trip as well, didn't we?
We did. That was so good. I'm so glad we did that. So we went to the Everyman in Stratford. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was amazing. Catered really well for us. Food was great. We picked a movie of choice that may be relevant to what we're making.
Very inspiring movie. For those who don't know, Everyman is one of those cinemas where you're not in typical cinema seats, but in sofas, and they serve sundaes and burgers and stuff to your seat rather. It's pretty great. Now that we've said all this, we definitely get a discount next time for everyone.
Please. We're coming back. Yes, thanks.
We'll clip this out and pass it on to them.
and I think rather ominously, the team has gathered to bid you all farewell. I think that probably means that's all we've got time for today. But I guess if we give a massive Maverick goodbye to the camera.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time.